So Jermell Charlo is now down to 2 belts now after becoming undisputed after beating Brian Castaño. He lost his WBO belt. It was stripped once he faced Canelo Alvarez. The minute the bell rung, he became a unified champion, losing the WBO. And then, Tim Tszyu, he defended his interim title, and then the WBO elevated him to full championship status. Pretty much emailed the WBO to him. He didn't have to fight anybody for the WBO. He just handed over the WBO. And it's unfortunate because it seems like Charlo. This was a path for Charlo. Like, his handlers put a wedge in between Crawford and Charlo. He put Canelo in the middle. He knew that Canelo just came out of nowhere, man. I'm like, damn, he just came in, signed the deal, and then they knew that he was gonna be stripped of that belt, the WBO, and then he moves up, fights Canelo, then he gets stripped, making the path for undisputed a little harder for Terrence Crawford. I said a while ago, man, that I think, a lot of people's opinion might differ. I think Charlo was ducking Tim Tszyu and Terrence Crawford. That's just my assumption. Others don't believe that's what the case is, but it just seems really strange that happened. Crawford, that was the easiest path for him to become a three-divisional undisputed champion, because Charlo had all of the belts. And they knew that Crawford was really vocal and he was going after Charlo, man. And they didn't want Crawford to get his hands on those belts. He already done humiliated them, took the belts off of their shining star, Errol Spence. They wasn't trying to let that happen again. That's just my opinion, man. And if they weren't going to let him be undisputed, it was going to make him work harder to be undisputed. See, there's this thing where people get mad at boxers because they have the unified belts all bundled up and they get pretty much gift wrapped for them to make it easier for them to be undisputed. Kind of the way Bud had 1 belt, Errol had 3, and then he just had to go in there and just beat one guy to become undisputed. But that's just the way it lined up. You can't fault Terrence Crawford for that, because it's just if a fighter, it's like that, man. You got one fighter, he might fight another fighter that has 2 belts, and then he has 2 belts right off the bat. And then you have other fighters, he got to fight this one guy with a belt. There's another guy with a belt, he fights him. Sometimes the path to become undisputed is more difficult for others. Just the way this should be lining up. But you can't blame that on Bud. Remember, they all this heavy lifting shit and all of that. Like, man, come on, man. That's all crap. That's all bull. I don't subscribe to none of that. You a champion. You got the belt. How you know what I'm saying? You fought for the belt, regardless to if you fought somebody that had 3 belts or not. You still fought for those belts. It wasn't given to you. You fought for it. And you bled for it. Stuff like that. So here we go again. Jermell Charlo decides to vacate his IBF this time, which is kind of interesting because the person that was Charlo's mandatory, he goes by the name of what's that guy name again, man? Murtazaliev. Okay, he goes by the name of Murtazaliev, a Russian dude. And from what I was reading, that dude was Jermell Charlo's mando for quite a long time, for a while. IBF. He was the IBF mandatory for quite a long time. Find that kind of odd, right? Because you see how Terrence Crawford, he had his IBF for like a few months, and they pulled it from him. They took it from him. But apparently, this guy Murtazaliev, he been Jermell Charlo's IBF Mando for a long time, and he just kept on steppers. They paid him step aside money so he could fight Brian Castano. So how come Charlo was able to hold on to his IBF belt for so long, Spence, but then when it come to Bud, oh nope, sorry, you got to run that, give it back. How did it feel to be undisputed for a little bit, but now you got to give us the belt back? It's crazy, bro. And then now, instead of Charlo coming back down to face his man though, Murtazaliev, he decides to vacate the IBF. So now, Bakram Murtazaliev, he got to fight. He got to fight for the belt the way it should be, okay, the way it's supposed to be. He got to fight for that IBF belt now. He got to fight somebody going by the name of Jack Kolke, a German dude. So they're gonna fight for the two straps. I mean, they're gonna fight for the IBF strap, and I guess eventually whoever wins out of that will end up lining it up with Tim Tszyu, because I don't think that Tim Tszyu fight with Charlo's ever gonna happen. I'll be surprised if it does. Where does Bud play in all of this? I don't know. Bud clearly stated that he's not really interested in fighting Charlo anymore, and it's ironic because after Canelo beat the dog snot out of Jermell Charlo, he said he'd fight Crawford. Well, Crawford is like, he didn't really try. I don't want to fight dudes that's not gonna try. That shows you the competitive heart of Bud, you know. Understandable, but still, Charlo right now currently has 2 belts, and it still remains to be seen if he was actually going to even fight. But in the first place, that was just all talk, you know. What is next for Jermell Charlo? I don't know what he's doing, man. He made $10 million fighting Canelo. He might be a little bit too comfortable, man. So him dropping his belt, he don't give a shit, man. He just made $10 million. So he's comfortable, man. He like, look, I already became undisputed at 154. I don't have to fight nobody else. I can drop my belts. I already proved what I need to prove. And I hate mentalities like that, bro. Defend your fucking title, bro. At least once or twice. At least once or twice. That's kind of how I feel. I wanted Bud to defend his titles against Boots, or, you know, whoever else was up there. But Boots was the first person to come in mind. I would still love to see that fight. Bud still got, what, 3 belts? He got the WBC, the WBA, and he got the WBO. Right? And that would kind of be like almost, because now Boots got the IBF. It's almost the same situation, like 1 belt versus 3 belts. Like Spence had 3, Bud had 1. It's like now Bud got 3, Boots got 1. Shit crazy the way that shit looked, the way it's set up. But very interesting between 147 and 154. A lot of things have to play out between these 2 divisions, man. Right now, between certain fighters, a lot of things have to get cleared up. A lot of dudes gonna have to get in the ring to settle some smoke. And I'm very disappointed in Jermell Charlo, man. I thought, you know, he really was with it. You know, I think he dug Tim Tszyu and Terrence Crawford. I've been saying this for the longest. I'm never gonna not believe that. You know, he just felt like, all right, he went there, laid down, got his bread off Canelo, and now he feel like he on top of the world. He don't gotta really defend his belts or whatever. Cool. If he feel like that, that's an indicator to me that he's gonna end up just. He's probably not gonna fight at 154 again. I'll be amazed if he did. He's probably going to end up vacating those other ones eventually, man, because he's still going to have to face Mandos with those other 2 belts he got. So, yeah, it's not looking too good for Jermell Charlo, man. He out here looking crazy right now, man. Just my opinion. But anyway, let me know what y'all think, man. This your boy Rebel Life Boxing. Catch y'all later in the next one, man. And I'm off this.